And all right, here we are. We're going to try something a little different this month with our health, wealth, and happiness monthly mastery training. We're going to do a little bit tribute to our lead coach, main man, Brendan Bouchard. We're going to do it off these little index cards, really helping you dial in something that's changed the trajectory of my life, my girl's life, and so many people I've had the honor of coaching. These 5 powerful ways to create more fun and freedom in your life. And I'm so excited to be here with you, and here's why. When we really get to the bottom of what people are looking for, so often in the coaching realm of all the thousands of sessions that I've coached, when we ask that question, what is it that's most important to you in life right now? The number one thing is they want that sensation of more freedom. Typically it's like financial freedom, can connect to that. Sometimes it's just they have so many tasks, responsibilities, things they got to take care of that really harms them from feeling free. So today, you and I, in this time together, are going to really go through some powerful things. This is coming from the world of reporting out of so many people I've coached and what I've tested and measured and what best practices are along these realms. I cannot wait to go over all this with you. So we're going to be working from these index cards, and then we'll pop over to the screen because I want to show you the actualization of how this can work in your life. Here's what we know. I'm on this planet to help you in one critical way. To help you from where you're at to where you want to be. And so often in life, I found I got to really help you dream bigger. You got to really be like, wow, it'd be great if I could do that. No. Let's spend some time in what I like to call the ambition, the dream, the desire. Does that sound all right? So thank you so much for being here. I hope you like this more facey approach. I'm right here with you, rocking it out, working through these beautiful cards. The very first thing in our monthly master training that we usually do is we go over and we do perspective to get picture of why we're doing what we're doing, what it is we need to be thinking about. Get sometimes out of the trenches in terms of the bigger picture of life. You know how if you get into an argument, that can set your day off. But if you have good practices in play, you're like, you know what? That was just an argument. That's going to happen in life. I got to get back on track to have a positive psychology and really own this beautiful life that I've been given. And not let this rob any more of my time down that neutral, negative mindset, right? So, like we always do, and it happens to be the very first thing in these powerful ways, we're going to go ahead and number one, you probably guess what it is. Get perspective. So it's really, really critical as we think through getting perspective that we have a tool or an approach, I would dare say a habit, a behavior that keeps us on track in critical areas of our life. Now, as you probably know, I've created a tool. We go through this quite a bit in our work together. It's called the Wheel of Perspective. And so I have a couple copies right here. And we'll go ahead, if you don't have it, you can go to bit.ly/wheel for you. So it's wheel, the number 4, the letter U. bit.ly/wheel for you. And you get this beautiful tool. And what this tool does is it shows you what it took for me to go from being 270 pounds, then down to 240, then up to 250, then down to 240, then down to 230. Over the course of, from 2000 through 2012, I was doing this. And I couldn't dial in getting below 200 pounds. And I missed some critical things. This is the 10 areas that I concentrate on and keep perspective with. That not only keeps my weight below 200, which it has been, celebrate with me, since July 25th, 2012, but on the other hand, that it keeps me in perspective for my future vision of who I want to be. Now it's really critical you get what I just said. Big part of it was dialing in the habits that I had along these 10 areas, but also creating that future vision of who I want to be. Some people that I've talked with, they're like, Char, what was the one thing you did that really shifted for you, that really changed the trajectory of your life? And I tell them, it was when I decided who I wanted to be 10 years from now. And I got connected emotively, sensorially, meaning the senses, what I wanted to hear from others, what I wanted to see when I looked in the mirror or on the scale, but most importantly, what I wanted to feel. I want to feel a high level of energy, high level of love, all these kind of things, right? And these 10 keep that in check. So what I'd like to do with you is kind of go through this with you, and if you have it, great. If you don't, just get your notes out. You can take notes and we'll just kind of have a little exercise. So the first thing towards feeling more fun and freedom is dialing in perspective. So let's go ahead and go through it. The very first part is sleep. So what I'd love for you to do is think about the last month, and in the last 4 weeks, from 0 to 10, how well have you slept, 10 being the highest, 7 to 9 hours of good rest per night? What's that look like for you? So 0, I sleep, what's that? I go to bed at 2, I get up at 4, 2 hours if I'm lucky. And there's people that I've coached that have that. So the very first thing, sleep. And by the way, at the very end of our little exercise here, this first part of our getting more fun and freedom, will reflect on my ratings. I did this just before we started today. So it'll be really powerful for you. I think you'll see because I'll talk through a little bit. Second item on this beautiful wheel of perspective is hydration. So when you think about the last 4 weeks, how well have you been hydrating with water? Speaking of water, let's have some. So what is that for you? 0? Yeah, I'm drinking soda, I'm drinking coffee, water, don't have it. Not really hydrating at all. 10, you're drinking basically a gallon of water a day. So that's, what is that, 2 or 3.5 liters, I think, if I do the math right. So many people asked, they said to me, Charles, what was the shift for you when you started hydrating frequently? I said, I just have to have water within arm's reach. So I have these water bottles. Honor the struggle, bring the joy. Really, really powerful. Just having them around, such a great thing. Looks like I got a little bit fur here. You know how that goes. One man show, what are you going to do? So that being said, how are you doing there? Third element in the wheel of perspective is eating. Have you been eating 80% nutrient rich in the last 4 weeks? What does that mean? It means more greens, more colored food, not like food colored food like Skittles, but like veggies, fruits, not beige foods, like breads, lean on the meats, more legumes, these kind of things. So 80% of the time, like, 6 out of 7 days, have you been eating more nutrient rich? 0, not at all. I'm eating donuts for breakfast, I'm eating hamburgers for lunch, I'm eating tacos, meat, corn tortillas, no veggies for dinner. That seems to be my scene. What is that for you? I hope you're enjoying this part. Just owning these 3 things. Just owning sleep, hydration, and eating help people feel more free. It definitely helps them feel not as overwhelmed, stressed. It definitely helps with clarity. Just imagine getting the right amount of rest every night and how that can feel energetically. And if you're not in a place right now where you're getting that, my challenge for you, maybe on the weekend, whatever that is for you, is just to try 2 nights, really dialing in, getting on to bed, like 10 o'clock, getting up maybe 6, I don't know what your schedule is, but something along those lines, and just seeing if you feel a little better, a little more energy. That's the number one thing people reported, including myself, who used to be the night owl, was dialing that in and really owning it. Does that make sense? Oh, it's so powerful. I'm so excited for you. So number 4 is exercise. Exercise. Big thing here is, and it's not like we have to be that person who's in the gym 4 hours every day, that kind of thing. No, it's just getting sweaty, like say in high performance, 3 to 4 times a week. We love to teach the 2x2s. 2 60-minute moderate exercises per week. It could be walking fast, depending on where you're at. For me, that's usually running 2, 3, 4 miles, then hitting the gym. And then 2 times per week, more high intensity. Going really after that idea of really revving the heart. So what is that for you in the last 4 weeks? 0 to 10. Now, so far, if you rated yourself in these areas, if anything falls below an 8, I'd love for you to challenge yourself to be like, okay, what can I do to level that one up? And I'd also love, and I'll stack this on there for you, is just make the commitment, a weekly commitment. Next week, I'm just going to concentrate on leveling up sleep. That's all. The week after that, I'm going to concentrate on whatever the second one is that's below an 8, like hydration. I'm just going to have water around me. That's all I'm going to do. That's all I'm going to concentrate on. Put a weekly event in your Google Calendar, your iCal, or just note. Post it on your desk or wherever that is for you. This week's hydration. Next week's sleep. ... Just changing things weekly. Can you imagine 52 times a year we we have the opportunity to change something. Every week, 52 weeks in a year, we get to change something. And I challenge a lot of people I coach. That breaks it down into simple steps. So I hope that helps. Really powerful. Fifth item is breaks. How often have you been taking breaks every hour to hour and a half? Meaning that if you're in a work project or you're doing something, that you just pull back, take a deep breath, maybe set some intention, maybe take a little walk, maybe a 2-minute walk, maybe listen to a little music, something, these things that I just went over with you are WMEI. Really, really powerful towards owning this whole idea of, okay, I need to take a break. Here's what we know. The highest performers, they take breaks every 60 to 90 minutes. They take a 5-10 minute break to reset themselves, to rejuvenate. They also report that they feel more connection, more emotionally connected throughout the day. So the important breaks is everything along this line. You get it? Cool. So excited for you. We got 5 things down. Next one up is happiness. Now, there's a bazillion ways to measure happiness, right? The 2 that I love is one of them is called the trifecta of happiness. So let me ask you this. In the last 4 weeks, how often have you been learning new things? Like maybe reading a book consistently every day, maybe 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes for some of the people I coach. Creating something from what you've learned. Maybe it's a quote or a post in a social media. Hey guys, I just learned this. And maybe it'll help you too. And then pressing that publish button. Sharing it. So you feel what I just said? It's learn something new, create from what you've learned, and share it. You feel the power there? Could you imagine if we all were reading something uplifting, whether it's fiction or nonfiction, and we were sharing life principles that helped others and then just popping them on social, how that might change the dynamic of the world a little bit? Instead of some of these posts that I see here like blame, excuse, denial, gossip, drama. Ugh, don't want that. Would love to hear uplifting, ambitious posts. That creates happiness. You put something good in the world, maybe help improve somebody's lives. The other thing is the people that you're around. Are you around uplifting, happy people more often than not? So that's the ratings. Are you learning, creating, and sharing? Are you around happy, uplifting people more often than not? 0 to 10. If that's below an 8, you got very clear directives here. Your job's very, very clear. Does this help? I hope this helps you. I'm looking right into this lens of this beautiful Panasonic Lumix camera. But what I see is your eyes, your soul, your mind, your being, putting goodwill in the world. It gives me chills just telling you that. Like really going after it. And I'm so excited for you. This is just one way to keep perspective, to bring more fun into your life, to feel more free, to just get out there. You know, not have the constraints of, oh, they're going to like that. No. Just put goodwill in the world. Do it from a place of heart. People, there may be haters. I get some. But I'm just like, you know what? I'm putting goodwill in the world. What are you doing? I'd love to see. Could you put some goodwill in the world? Challenge them a little bit. Teach that in high performance, by the way. Influence model. Teach people how to think. Role model for them. Challenge them. So now we're halfway through the wheel of perspective. I guess we're a little more than halfway through. Next up is finances. So in the last 4 weeks, how you been doing here? 0, I've been spending everything I got and I'm in debt. But money, don't got none. 10, I've not only been taking care of my expenses, but I have a little layer of fun money, or a lot big layer of fun money, and I'm saving for the future. So in the last 4 weeks, how you been doing there? What's showing up? Anything need to change? If you need help there, comment below and let me know. I'll be happy to give you my financial worksheet, simple 1-pager, or I'll help you personally, whatever that is, whatever I can do to facilitate growth for you. Because when you dial that in, boy, does that help with financial freedom. So many people tie the freedom, their personal freedom, into finances, like the idea of having money, enough money to survive on without having to work. But having good cash flow too. So we talk a lot about passive revenue and these kind of things. This is a lot of what I teach. And if you need help there or direction, just let me know. Comment below. I'm more than happy to help you out. Next up is presence. Presence. So when we look at presence, how well in the last 4 weeks have you been connected to the moment? Not spending too much time in the future in your mind or in the past, but really present, connected, engaged, joyous in the moment. Where have you fallen off there? I'll tell you what, presence for me dies when I don't get my sleep. I'm just like, and I'm in this kind of negative, neutral mindset. So if there's anything there for you, really would love for you to take, like we talked about earlier, to be more present, I'm going to concentrate on presence maybe next week. And I know what my triggers are that pull me out of now, that get me in the past and get me teed off, get me in the future, and I'm like missing the conversation right here. Or I'm looking at my digital device and I'm not present with the person in front of me. You follow? These are just the big ones that people have self-reported as I've coached so many beautiful souls on this planet that we're on. Next up is purpose. Number 9 here. Purpose. So from 0 to 10, how purposeful have you felt in the last 4 weeks? Now, let me give you some ideas here if you're not familiar with what purpose is. When we think about purpose on the planet, it's the things that bring us fulfillment. It's the things that, in the high performer world, it's things that help others improve their life somehow. So really, really critical as we think this through. Have we been doing things that help others improve their life? For example, one person reported, I feel incredibly purposeful when I'm going shopping and I'm opening doors for people, smiling, and just leaving the places better than where they were when I got there. Just through the art of positive energy. You follow? And that's purposeful for them. For people like me, my purpose on this beautiful planet, as you probably know, is to help you improve your life from where you're at to where you want to be, realizing you're probably not dreaming big enough. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. And then really going after that, like pursuing that with some action. And I do that in 3 ways: in life, in business, and online. You follow? So that's, to me, is very purposeful. If I listen to you and you're struggling with something, I got something for you, I can help you. Purpose is dialed in. Really, really critical. The final part is really about action. And that's right up here. The daily plan. It's assuring that in the last 4 weeks, 0 to 10, how well have you been in control of your daily agenda? Meaning that you've been controlling life, business, whatever that is, more than it's been controlling you. You have said no. You know what to do. You know what to delegate. You know what to delete. Be honest. 0 to 10. What is it for you? Oh, it's good stuff, isn't it? So, with all that being said, here's my ratings. I got it right here for you. Did them just this morning. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, it looks like you can. Pretty good. So, sleep for me, 9. Could dial in a little more. Getting great sleep. But I know there's another step for me. A little bit darker. I'm just making sure that I'm really programming my mind for a good rest. Sometimes I'm carrying too much stuff in my brain. And I do have a practice of writing it out. But that's the idea. I know there's a little bit more for me there. Hydration fell off a little bit in the last 4 weeks. Got right back on, though, recognizing I need to have my bottles with me. So I give myself an 8. Eating, doing real well, 80% of the time, dialed in. Having my shakes, my high-performance shakes as we call them. Eating nutrient-rich foods. So I gave myself an 8 there. Did do a little bit too much when we were in Miami a few weeks back of not eating nutrient-rich, although I was on it, but I wasn't on it enough. Exercise, that's fallen off. I kind of felt in the last 2 weeks I may have had some sort of bug, and then the heat is kicking up a little bit. And when I ran, I just felt weird. So I pulled back a little bit, did a little more in the gym, but I know that I need to work that, so I gave myself a 6. On that, I know what I got to do to up level. Taking breaks, I'm on that. It's just part of my being now. Gave myself a 9. Happiness, a 9. Around people that uplift me. Learning, creating, and sharing, and doing what we're doing right here together right now. Finances, 10. Got that dialed in. Finally, in the last few years, controlled my spending. That was a big part of it. Set up some budgeting a little bit, and then have automation in play. Auto savings in play, those kind of things. Cool? Presence, dialed in. Got it. There's times where I fall off, so I gave myself a 9, but I'm back on track, usually pretty quickly, unless sleep. Sleep's a big hindrance for me in presence. Purpose, 10, baby. Going after it. Being here with you, doing what we do, rocking this out. Really critical towards our path, our journey, right? Next up, daily plan. Dialed that in. I did actually up level the way I approach my day and my week through Evernote. And I'm so excited about that. Maybe what I'll do, if you're interested in how I've up leveled there, let me know and I'll do a little training video, or maybe we can do it in the Q&A that we have to really help you understand what I've done there. So that's my wheel of perspective. And boy, it tells me right where I'm out of whack over here in exercise. So that's the first in creating more fun and freedom, of the powerful ways to create more fun and freedom, is to get perspective. Does that all make sense? You see the connection? So the second way is, let me make sure we got one card here. Unhook yourself and your family from things that hinder the sensation of freedom. Now, what does that actually mean? What that means is when you really think about the idea of what we're watching, what we're consuming, maybe on our digital devices, and what we're reading, is this hindering or helping us down our path of feeling more free? So often we connect that to ambition. Like, is what I'm seeing right now connecting me to a bigger dream, goal, desire, or is it hindering me or getting my brain sort of in a mode of the world sucks, this is terrible, those kind of things. So real quick illustration for you is when you're watching the news, if you watch the news, or when you go on CNN.com, that can hinder freedom because it really is geared around struggle, challenge, frustration. Like, I don't feel free, the world's set up, the way the politics are, it hinders freedom. So I want to go over a really important concept with you. Let me see if you can see that. Yeah, the info identity loop. It's something we teach in psychology mastery in our high performance work. The info that we put in directly informs and becomes our identity. Think about that for a minute. When you're at an airport, if you're flying somewhere, and you're watching the news, and maybe your practice normally is not to, and it has something about an airplane and a crash, boom, your identity is scarcity. Crap, am I going to die today? On the converse, if we're sitting in that same airport watching a video about travel, and some of the vloggers, I'll go over these resources for you in a little bit, are owning it, we get excited about that trip. Can't wait to get on the airplane. It's going to be so fun. I'm going to look out the window and see all the beautiful things, clouds, land, kind of track geography. That's how I view flying. Thanks to my grandpa for that. He was the man when it came to flying. I love the song Come Fly With Me by Frank Sinatra because it really was, it's my connection to him. I've just put it that way. You follow? But you see how the info and identity play? So here's the other side of it. Your identity informs the info that comes out of you. You see how important this info identity loop can be? So your challenge is to unhook yourself and your family from anything that's hindering the sensation of fun and freedom. And of course, one of the other challenges will be to do the opposite. So I really want you to think about this right now. What are you watching? What are you consuming? What are you reading? Whatever that is, that when you're done, you feel like your freedom has been hindered. You feel maybe a little more scarcity mindset, like, oh, you feel abundance taken away. You feel worse. Conversely, I would challenge you to think about what is it you can watch or you have watched. Maybe it's a movie. Maybe it's some vloggers, some YouTubers, and I'll go over some of this powerful resource for you in just a minute, that really help you down that path, that really open your mind towards powerful concepts. Oh, I could be that guy or could be that girl, to really go back to the info identity loop. So that's number 2. Be very careful about what's hindering, reducing the sensation of fun and freedom in your life. And so often we find behavioral patterns. Every morning I get up and I check the news. I read the newspaper and I feel like, they don't say this directly in this way, but they'll say something like, and I feel like crap after that. Okay, well, instead of reading the news, what about listening to a great podcast that talks about ambition, things you can do, dreams you can go after? Does that make sense? Am I hitting a nerve here? I hope so. I love this. You and me just having this conversation close up, rocking it out. How are you feeling about this? Comment below. I'd love to hear. Do you like this format? This format a little wacky? Too much face? Beautiful hair. I did my hair for you today. I hope you like it. A little bit of blonde highlights, or as my daughter Paige likes to say, Dad, you're gray. So that's number 2. Number 3, real powerful. Along the lines of what we just talked through, is to create freedom. Is to go after a vision of freedom and fun. So as soon as we go through these 5, I'm going to bring up some stuff on the big screen for us. And I'm going to kind of review with you what that can be. Does that make sense? I want to show you the exercise that I go through, but I'm going to describe it for you right now. 2 exercises that have really helped my family and I create more fun and freedom in our lives. One is to do the exercise where we get 4 pieces of paper, and on one piece we write no, on another piece we write low, on another piece we write medium, and another piece we write high. And what that means is no cost, low cost, medium cost, and high cost. And then what I have them do, and I do this exercise myself, is I go through and I say, okay, what are the no-cost things that I love to do? Like, they just don't have any cost. For me, a couple of them. One of them is going to the park, walking in this beautiful park that's right by where we live. Another one is going to the beach. There is a little bit of cost there for gas, but the idea is it's pretty much no cost. Low-cost items, would be things like going to a movie. Low cost could be anything below $20, right? Well, movies might be more than that, but you get the idea. Going to a nice place to eat, like low cost. Chipotle is one of our favorites. And just enjoying that. Going to a low cost event like putt-putt, playing mini golf. You follow? Medium cost could be a day trip to Busch Gardens. For us here in Florida, that's about a 2-hour drive. In Southwest Florida, it's a 2-hour drive, then we come back, have some fun, right? Just in a day. High cost would be things like going to Switzerland, which we have been doing like every summer. We're doing it this summer. And really owning that, right? And you'll see some of these things appear when I show you the boards that we've created. So that brings me to the next step. The actionable item for creating more fun and freedom is just to say, what is fun and freedom for me? So once you do the no, low, medium cost, high cost exercise, is to get an 11 by 17 piece of paper, and on that piece of paper, draw bubbles. And put at the top of the piece of paper, your name, fun and freedom, 2019, 2020, whatever that would be for you, depending on when you're doing it. I do this exercise about every Thanksgiving for the next year. And I'm like, next year, if I'm having fun and freedom, these are the bubbles I'm hitting. We're having great eats, awesome eats. We're exploring new places to have great experiences from an eating in just so many cool places in Miami Beach. We go over there. It's about a 2-hour drive the other way from Busch Gardens. You go the other way on Alligator Alley, I-75, get to Miami Beach. And over there's just so much to experience in terms of really good food. Like a small quantity, just super tasty. Pane and Vito is the place we went. If you go on my Instagram, you'll see what happened there. It was amazing, right? But that's part of my vision, Miami. And you'll see it on my vision board. Other pieces on there, tennis. That's a no-cost item because we have a tennis court where I live. Swimming. Reading. Learning. Walking the beach. All these things. But here's what I know. That board, I see it every day. When I'm coaching, when I'm working in my little production studio, I see that board. And it reminds me of what fun and freedom is. So often what we teach in high performance coaching is in order to command more of an emotion, you just have to ask, when is a time in my life where I felt more fun and free? And then just get the qualities, traits, characteristics of that and really own that for you. Bring that to the forefront of your mind and then try to apply it now. Almost like a checklist. When's the time when I felt more fun and free? I was out walking, smelling nature, touching flowers, on the beach. Okay, that's my checklist. I need to go do that right now, or as soon as I can. You follow how that works? So I'll show you some examples of this as we pop into the tactics part of our work today. So number 3 is create vision. Number 4, and this is going to be so much fun for us, is to 100 times your vision. Remember when I said earlier the idea that I help people improve their lives from where they're at to where they want to be. But most people don't dream big enough. We've got to enhance what's possible. So many people are just like, yeah, it'd be cool if I went to the beach. Ugh. But if we really own feeling fun and freedom, here's the pivot. Here's what I did. I'm taking a Frisbee. I'm taking a little Nerf football, taking beach chairs, taking a beach umbrella. And inside that time, I'm going to read. I'm going to just watch people watch. I'm going to watch the waves come in. I'm going to get up and play with my lovely family. That idea of football and Frisbee. And really have an experience. You feel how that kind of 10x's or 100x's the vision of going to the beach? It's so fun just walking the beach for me. But really enhancing that. And I'll tell you what, there's a big part of that that's connection. Connection with those I love. Those I care for. Those kind of things. Does that land for you? So I'd love for you to take a minute here. This is part of our tactics, but I'll do it a little early for you. Think about what is it that you can do to get more ideas, more ambition. So for me, there's 3 vloggers that I love to follow that really blow my mind. And I'm going to go over them just as we wrap up the 5 points. Just so you can get a context, a little bit of tactics to see what this can be for you. Does that sound okay? I'm so excited for you. You're going to love this. And you're going to be able to find your own, you know? And it goes back to that info identity loop. What are we looking at? What are we going after? What's informing our identity in the ways that we want towards a more ambitious future? You just feel better watching people with great energy share their adventures and the possible vision for you. I hope you're feeling this. How are we doing? How are you feeling? Would love for you to comment below. One thing so far that you're committed to. One thing that you're just like, you know what? I got this. Yeah, I need to cut that out. It's not making me feel good. I need to go after finding new people, new books to read, new things to follow, new people to kind of showcase what can be in this beautiful life we've been given, this short amount of time on this beautiful planet we're on. What is that for you? Good stuff? Number 5. Now we take some action. Define your goals, your dreams, your desires, dare I say your bucket list, and set some dates. One thing that we teach in high performance as part of necessity is external deadline. Like when you have deadlines in play and you've shared them with others and you got them in your calendar, it's like this month, these next 30 days, my goal is to learn more about what's possible. So by the end of this month, the final day of the month, I will have a list of things that I'm going to prioritize and set as goals with deadlines. Let me give you the context. First and foremost, okay, I have never been, this isn't my case, it's just an example, because I have been to Europe. I've never been to Europe, and I want to go visit London, and I want to go visit Paris, and I want to go visit Rome. Okay, let me do all the research in the front end, and luckily we have such beautiful tools for that. Rick Steves, some of the vloggers I'll go over today, who've gone there, who've walked the very roads you're going to walk, told you what to look out for, told you the places to try if you're into food, if you're a foodie like me, and then own that, right? That's the magic. Okay, got it. So in this month, I'm just going to create the vision, fun and freedom in Europe. And I'm going to do the research. And I hope you can sense how excited I am for you, because this is what we do. Love it. And then at the end of the month, not before, I'm going to plan it out. I'm going to create a pocket of 10 days and get the budget lined up if that's what has to happen for you. Do the research. And I'm going to talk about this in just a minute too. Travel hack. Get over there inexpensively. Stay over there inexpensively. There's 2 very powerful resources that help you there. The reason I'm going over this for you is this. So many people that I've coached, especially up in age, have said, Char, the number one regret I have is I didn't explore the world enough. Kind of thought, yeah, someday I'll go do that, someday I'll go do that. But they didn't take action on it. They feel like they rob themselves of a lot of fun and a lot of freedom. I don't want that to be you. You follow? You and I are on this planet, as I said earlier, for a short amount of time. We've got to really own each day. We don't know if tomorrow is going to be there for us. Tomorrow may be there for the earth, maybe not for you or I. So what are we doing today to really go after that vision, that fun, that freedom, those kind of things? What is that for you? Good stuff? So define your goals, set some dates. And if you're really up for that challenge, send them to me. Comment below. Char, by the end of this year, I'm going to go here, I'm going to do that. I got this. And if you need help planning that out, you let me know. We'll get on a check-in call, whatever that is, and own it for you. I promise. And I got resources. We'll go over some in a little bit that will really help you. So the way I'm going to handle this right now is I'm going to go through these tactics, and then we'll have a little bit of fun at the end where I kind of showcase everything for you in terms of some of the things that I've done that have really helped enhance personal freedom. So before we do that, let's do this. Let's go back through these 5 items. Adult Learning Theory says we should, and own them for you. First of all, get perspective. And we talked about this beautiful wheel of perspective as a methodology for helping you get perspective. And all these different critical areas that will help you feel more fun and free. Second, we talked about unhook yourself and your family from things that are informing your identity in not so good ways, negative, neutral ways. What is that for you? Third, we talked about kind of the flip side of that, creating a vision. Maybe going after that. No, low, medium, high cost. Maybe getting out big 11.5 piece of paper or whatever, a flip chart. You know, big construction paper, whatever it is. Putting, here's what fun and freedom looks like for me for the rest of this year and next year. And just drawing some bubbles. No, low, medium, high cost things. Creating your vision. I got my fun and freedom reminder on the back of that. Number 4, 100x your vision. Okay, these are the things that I think I can do. But like I said about the beach, I can go to the beach and walk it. But what can I do to really enhance that sensation of fun? And dare I say freedom? Can I just go walk the beach, or should I go and bring my chair, my book, football, frisbee, some people I love, maybe some good eats, maybe some drinks, water, hydration, and make it an experience? All inside 3 hours. You follow? That's the difference. And number 5, this is my challenge for you, is to define your goals and set some dates. You up for that? I hope so. This is so powerful. Thanks so much for being here with me. So here we go, some tactics. I'm going to go over the tactics, and we're going to go over some resources. Love the way we've set this up today. I hope you're feeling this. I hope you're enjoying this format as much as I am. I'm looking at me, making sure I'm in focus. Looks like I am. Good stuff. Got that one-man show going. Got to take care of it. So now we're into the tactics part. We've gone over the perspective. That happened to be the first part of Fun and Freedom. We've gone over the training. That was the 5 ways. Now we're into the tactics. The first tactic. What are your dreams and desires? What does fun and freedom look like for you? So the idea for you here is to get out a journal. Could be a piece of paper, could be a book, could be like I do it, an Evernote. Get a new note and answer these questions and spend some time what I call open journaling to them. What does that mean? It means where we're sitting down and we're taking time, maybe 5 minutes a day, to look at that question and answer it more, like add more to it. I do that in a bulleted form, like I'll add bullets. Some people just keep on writing paragraphs. Whatever that is for you, there's no right answer here. It's whatever that looks like for you. Because here's what we know. Throughout a given week, throughout a given month, we're in different moods. Sometimes we're under stress. Sometimes we're just in relaxation. The answers become different. Sometimes we're sleepy, grumpy. Sometimes we're like, oh, I'm feeling so good. I just watched this YouTube video about this, and I just want to sit there and think about how I can make that real for me. So, what are your dreams and desires? What does fun and freedom look like for you? First exercise. Second, talked about the info identity loop. The info identity loop. What's informing you and your family's identity? Is it the things that should be? You know, I see a lot of parents, and I hear this a lot in our coaching calls, that are like, yeah, I just get my son or daughter in front of the iPad. I'm not really sure what they're watching. And then they look and they're watching TV shows that they shouldn't be watching on Netflix or movies. They're watching videos on YouTube that aren't really helpful towards informing their identity and their person in a good way. I've noticed a couple parents have said, you know, all of a sudden my daughter started back-talking me and arguing with me more. And it wasn't like her personality. And I realize they evolve as they grow. But what I noticed, she was watching this particular show on of all places, Disney, that the girl was kind of a brat. And she started to get the traits of that. So what's informing her identity? Along the lines of the info identity loop, right? So be careful about that. And then to set a plan, if you're really up for really owning this from the best practice perspective, is to say, you know what, these are acceptable things for us to watch together as a family. These are acceptable things for us to do. And let's go after a dream of more connection, more fun, and freedom in our lives collectively. And that's where I would challenge you to go back to that no, low, medium, high cost lists, if you will, and then create that fun and freedom vision board. You follow? Pretty cool, huh? I love how this all connects. 3, who can you start following that helps you dream bigger in your vision? So I'm going to go over some resources here in just a minute that I think will help you out big time, because they've helped me and so many of the people that I work with out. And what I mean by follow, there's a lot of people on YouTube, there's a lot of thought leaders out there that help us dream bigger. You know that saying that we're the average of the 5 people we're around? Or the 5 people we're learning from? You ever heard that? That kind of thing. I hope I'm one of them. My job on this planet is to help you dream bigger. So if you're questioning, you know, what is it? I'm trying to think about what I could possibly do. Sometimes we can't see because we feel blind, right? Towards what this bigger vision could be. That's a conversation you and I need to have. So let me know. Love doing this with you. Thank you so much. This is so along the line of my purposeful, passionate, positive path. Really, really critical as I step into this with you. So who can you follow? And maybe you don't know. I'm going to go over that with a little bit to get you some ideas. Number 4 in our tactics is no regrets in life. That's the theme. What specific goals, outcomes, even results do you want to see in the next 6 months, 1, and 5 years? So you have no regrets in life. Now, it's a couple people I've coached have lost the ability to be mobile. 1 or 2 of them actually have this dialysis they have to go to 3 times a week. that's hindered their ability to travel the world. They have a regret. Oh, I wanted to. They're working on other options for doing dialysis on the road per se, but boy, does that hinder their ability. They just don't want to be of discomfort to anybody else. You follow? What Bonnie Rare talks about in that beautiful book, The 5 Regrets of the Dying, is the fact that once you don't have your health, it's the number one thing you want to get back. Really critical as we dial that in. So no regrets in life. What specific goals, outcomes, even results do you want to see in the next 6 months, 1 or 5 years? I would also challenge you to do a bucket list, right? Like if you ever watched the movie The Bucket List, just all the things that you want to experience in life before you can't. Put it simple. So I hope this has helped. Let me go over these one more time with you when we think about how important these tactics are. First one, what are your dreams and desires? What does fun and freedom look like for you? I gave you a couple ways to think that through. Number 2, the info identity loop. What's informing you and your family's identity? Number 3, who can you start following to help your dream bigger in your vision? And number 4, no regrets in life. What specific goals, outcomes, even results you want to see in the next 6 months, 1 or 5 years? How do we do? Was this good? So let me see what we have here. Oh yeah, we got a little bit of time left. So that being said, I want to go through and take you on a little journey of some of the things I found that have just amped our vision, really amped us in terms of the way we approach feeling that sensation of more fun and freedom. Does that sound good? So let's go ahead and refocus the camera. I'm going to change up the, there we go. Change up the focus here so you can see it. So happy to be on this journey with you. All right, and boom, there we go. All righty. 5 powerful ways to create more fun and freedom. I hope we're delivering for you. So here we go. This is the vision board for my daughter Paige. So just to kind of get an idea of what that looks like. Crafts, driving, relax, arcade, pool, park, tennis, theme parks, travel, video games, family games, downtown, events, concerts, movies, beach, YouTube, learning new things. And that is on a 11 by 17 piece of paper put on her board right above her workspace. My other daughter, Josie. 2019 Fun and Freedom. Josie, read, tennis, run, hike, park, movies, board games, Switzerland. Loves the idea of hiking in Switzerland. We did that last summer. We're doing it again this summer. She'd love to go to Iceland. Naples is where the beaches that we go. Sanibel, which is an island near us. This great for shelling and those kind of things. Colorado, she has a desire to go there. She realized after she did this, she spelled Wyoming wrong. She has some desire to go out there. Brunch, we do these brunches we try to do them every Sunday. But just exploring new experiences, new places, new food in Southwest Florida or wherever we're at. Learning new things. You see a theme here? Singing. And in North Carolina, she loves the mountains. We're down here in Florida where there aren't any. And stuff. She ran out of ideas. So I hope this helps because this is a really critical part of this journey for all of us is to just lay out the vision, right? So that being said, let's go over here to a couple of the YouTuber resources that have really helped us 100x our vision. And what I mean by that is so often we think about, going to a place and we're like, oh, what are we going to do there? We do the research. But when people can make it real for you and do it with fun and joy and a theme of freedom, that's like the magic because it helps you anticipate the fun of going somewhere, right? So these two decided, Kara and Nate, they decided in 2016 to take a year off, aiming for spending less than $75 a day. That's about $25K a year on travel, eating, lodging, and fun. So I wanted you to think about that for a minute. And in order to do that, Nate, who's very, as you'll find out if you watch their work, he's very analytical, logical, research-driven. Really did what we call travel hacking work to get airline credit cards that give us free miles, to get over the pond, which is usually pretty pricey, to get other things in line that give him credit for Airbnb and so on. So he really went through and did that work. And get this, he developed an online course in Teachable that tells you how to do it. 30 days to becoming a travel hacker, a practical step-by-step for incredibly cheap travel. So going back to our theme today, fun and freedom. A lot of people, not everybody, fun and freedom to them is traveling the world. but it's so expensive. But it isn't. This is the kick of how they do it. The beauty of it is that in 2017, 18, and 19, they actually pivoted from losing money and are gaining money. And they've documented exactly how they're making money, putting YouTube videos up, having sponsorships as they got bigger, and then also monetizing their YouTube videos, monetizing through Patreon and PayPal. If you don't know of anything I'm talking about, I'm just going to go over the basics. You can go into this and look it up. This, by the way, I'll link to all this in the replay for you, so you'll have that. And they document exactly their income reports. Now check this out. Back in 2016, I don't know if you can see that, but what it's showing here is that October they made $575, September $1,700, August $4,000. As they went into 2017, first quarter they lost a little bit, about $1,300. Then they made two, lost like $1,300. Fourth quarter 2017, things started to pivot, $10K in income. Next up, and I think that's profit. I think that he took out expenses when he did these numbers. Now you see where they're going. They're traveling the world. They're in their rhythm. They got sponsorships. And third quarter of 2018, $90K. So that's $30K a month, 3 months. Fourth quarter, $84K. Now, if we click on that, they're very verbose on how they did that. This ties right into our fun and freedom theme. I hope you're seeing this. Really own that idea of how this all worked. He tells a great story in the front end. Then he goes over, here's my YouTube dashboard. Here's how I did an estimated revenue of $45,649 from YouTube. Here's how my Patreon and PayPal brought in that quarter, $11,570.66. Here is how my course sales brought in $22,911. And there was a spike, I think that was on Black Friday when he offered a deal where he made like $7K in a day. Isn't that crazy? And then you just get affiliate income. He was recommending product on Amazon, Epidemic Sound, creditcards.com brought in $10K because a big part of travel hacking is leveraging credit cards the way he teaches you. I just want you to see what's possible here. On the other side, their vlogs, especially in the last year, are insanely awesome in the way they do time and give you context. Casey Neistat teaches if you're going to vlog, there's 3 things you want to do. 1 is get context shots, so big shots of where you're at. 2 is get that medium shot where you're face to face with somebody, or you're kind of look perspective shot where you're walking down the street. And 3 is to assure you get macro shots, close-ups of stuff, just looking at the details. And then you put them in play in a way that keeps the viewer just entertained. They do something else. Kara does the video editing from what she said. She does this thing where she does time. They slow time and speed up time along a music line. And she says it takes her about 4 to 8 hours to edit a video. Really cool. She teaches you how to do it. Look at this. For $97, like you go through, and I'm not getting sponsored anything here. I'm just showing you what they got. I hope you see like speeding up, slowing down time lapses, going through the footage, round 1, adding titles to all things audio, editing sound, getting royalty-free sound, rendering and exporting. She uses Premiere Pro. I hope you're seeing how people are living a life of fun and freedom and owning it, helping others improve their lives, live purposefully. And these are 2 beautiful vloggers that are doing it. So if you have any desire, the replay will have all the links for all the courses, for everything else. I'm not linking in any affiliate way, so I'm not making any money on this. I just want to make sure you're armed and dangerous towards thinking bigger towards the future. Another one that I've really enjoyed, and this is just from the revenue side, to live profitably and purposefully, is this Graham Stefan. The reason I like him, 10 years, he's 28, I think maybe 29 now. He's really owned real estate, like the Rich Dad, Poor Dad scene about investing in real estate. And he breaks it down for you in very simple ways. Every video he has on here has incredibly detailed value for you and really helps you see around corners. He's also incredibly frugal. He has a really good control of his spend rate in life. So he has a video that he talks about, what was it called? Why I don't spend money in his videos. So my challenge for you, if you really want to think bigger in terms of how to maybe manage finances better, we talked about in the Wheel of Perspective, get into Graham's work. And I'll have a link for you in the replay, or you can just search him in YouTube, Graham Stefan. And he has some good interviews there too. He is also very transparent about the money he's making in YouTube royalties. So when you get into his work, you'll see he breaks it down how I made, I wouldn't say 60,000 in like maybe a half a quarter or half a year, something like that. You have to get in there and take a look. He, like others, talks about passive income, which is a big part of the part that I like. When you think about this saying, most millionaires have 7 or more revenue streams. So think about that. Most millionaires have 7 or more revenue streams. They're not trading time for money per se. They're doing things that just, they set it and forget it, and it creates income. How he makes $100 a day in 2019 with one of his revenue streams breaks that down. He also, like Kara and Nate, has an online course. This one's also through Teachable for $497. Learn how to become a successful real estate agent with a 6-figure income, even if you're starting with 0 connections or experience, step by step. What I've also noticed, just the nerd in me, I love that, the nerd in me, is that he's using coupon codes in his videos that vary the cost, a discount on this, so he can track which videos are producing most sales. Just a little kind of side note on the business internet side of things. And then finally, 2 people that have owned, and I love the title of this video, owned helping us dream bigger. And this is a shout out to Paul and our beautiful community, is Elena and Riley, who are traveling the world documenting their journey on their, what do they call it? Not monohull, catamaran style sailboat. And they document, just had a baby, they brought him back on, Lenny, all this stuff. So they're really showcasing what's possible for adventure and fun. And I dare say freedom, right? And they are very transparent about how they earn their living, and they got stuff like that. One of the videos that I love here is they were just near the Bahamas swimming with tiger sharks. Like, imagine that. Like, that's where you just don't want to swim. But they were with a professional who understood how to, if a shark come at you, you got to touch its nose and turn it over and all that kind of stuff. So I just want to make sure, as you think about that element in what we covered today, of 100 times in your vision, that you have 3 incredibly powerful resources that hit the marks on adventure, dialing in finances, really going after revenue streams, also what's possible in the world. So as you know, my job on this beautiful planet is to help you live into those 5 Ps. To live more purposefully, more passionately, more positively, more productively, going after your life stream. I hope we delivered on that today for you. And more profitably too. Thank you so incredibly much for being here with me. I hope you found this helpful. Would love to hear from you. If you need some help with that, we got our Q&A. I'll answer that. And any questions you got, I'll help you with that. Be sure to help you dream bigger and make sure that you're on that path so you have no regrets when you look back on life. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye. We rocked.